Welcome to this radio channel, and this is a little bit of shortwave radio news for March 8th, 2017. In our shortwave radio news today, one good and one bad news. The bad news, Vatican Radio ends shortwave broadcasts. Now, I don't see a date here officially, but it seems that Vatican Radio finds that shortwave is not a means of broadcasting anymore, and they are going to remove themselves from shortwave. And that's sad because, as this article says, many others are expanding instead of, stopping shortwave, including the BBC, the Voice of America. A lot of these services, even Radio Japan, have actually increased their output in the past year as they noticed that shortwave is still something very important to continue on. Vatican Radio, unfortunately, it's a sad thing because basically what's happening is that Vatican Radio, yes, has the, of course, religious Catholic side. You get news from the Pope and stuff like that, but also has one of the great news services. And I've heard so many news items from, say, from Africa, for example, that are, you don't hear on other broadcasts. So, it's really sad, and I think it's something that should be prevented. Of course, like I always say, if you think Vatican Radio should stay on shortwave, please drop them a line, either by mail or by email. Very important to let them know that you are there, you are listening to shortwave, and that Vatican Radio will be missed. But and by the way, there's also a article here on L'Espresso, which is an Italian that you can translate, basically. So I'll put the this article of Vatican Radio, in the description below the video, the link. And at the bottom of the article, you can go into references, and here you'll see Vatican Radio, the end of shortwave, a terrible deal. Just use Google Translate to translate the Italian in whatever language you prefer. I will also post the link to this other article, which is interesting. And it comes from Asia Radio Today. Yesterday, March 7th, was an article that was released that says, as Radio Australia cuts shortwave services, RNZI, Radio New Zealand International, becomes the official voice of the Pacific. So this is very interesting news, and of course we've learned that Radio New Zealand International has said that they are committed to maintaining shortwave, and they actually agree that for the Pacific region, it's extremely important for these services to actually continue. So, that at least is the good news on that side. So, one voice is leaving, the other one thinks it's important. It's very peculiar, how different people think of differently of shortwave broadcasts, basically. So this was a little bit of news. I am in the middle of trying to maybe do at least a weekly news bulletin for shortwave, and who knows, maybe a daily news bulletin. I will see how I can gather as much information as possible, and maybe do a daily news bulletin for shortwave. So I think this would be interesting, and a few of you have actually asked me why I do not do that. So of course, we'll be checking that out for sure, and I think it could be interesting. And just want to thank Jerry DeCare for sending me these articles also. I knew about both news pretty much, but I did not post anything about it. So here it is, our little news bulletin of the day. So remember, write Vatican Radio if you think broadcasts are important on shortwave from Vatican Radio. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and hope you enjoy my radio videos.